Morning, guys. Today's video is going to be a bit different. It's not going to be on pipes, but just real quick. Got this one off eBay, and it is a Von de Pearl. De Pearl's a model, church word, obviously. I didn't know about Vons. I had to look them up. They are they're a German pipe company. They're Germany's oldest manufactured pipe company. Pretty cool, according to Pipepedia. Okay, that's the pipe. Today's subject, today's video, is on ignorance. I've been looking. This is going to be a longer video too, because it's going to cover a lot. It's going to cover a lot. It's going to cover something very simple, very basic, and it's the world today. I just lost a third of you right there, but it's where we actually are. And for those who turned off, they're going to fall under the classification 2 on this talk. Today's video is going to be about ignorance, okay? The world is an ignorant place right now. And so let's discuss this for a minute. What does ignorant mean? Ignorant is a lack of knowledge, understanding, or education on a subject, on any subject. We're all ignorant. We are all ignorant in different things. It's the nature of man. People not God. Ignorant is not a problem. An ignorant man can educate himself, open his mind up, and learn about what it is that he's ignorant about and what he's interested in. Then we get into the willed ignorant. Not willful, but willed ignorant. Willed ignorant. When an individual realizes at some level of consciousness that their beliefs are probably false, or when they refuse to attend to information that would establish their falsity. In other words, atheists. When atheists, they get the ick when you start talking religion, because they know that their belief in their lack of belief, or when they say, well, I'm spiritual. Well, spiritual just means that you're narcissistic. It means you create your own deity, a lot of times within yourself, self-worship. You're a narcissist. Or other things. So if you start talking about the church, whether it be the Eastern Rong or the Western Rong, the Eastern hand or the Western hand, you're talking about the church, they start going to draw away. Okay, that's willed ignorance. Willfully ignorant. Those whom lack information or facts due to their refusal to acknowledge said information and or facts. Okay? They just don't want to listen. Like I've got 2 sisters that are hardcore leftist, communist ones. Well, I'm very spiritual. I believe in God. She believes in herself. The other one is flat out, anyways, I'm getting into my family, but we all have this. And now, why do I come to this part of the conversation? Why start this way? Look at what's going on, not just here in the United States, but in Europe, and at this moment in Britain. It's not just an all of a sudden thing. This is something that's been happening here now for about 10 or 20, about 20 years ago, slowly, then 10 years ago, then 5 years ago, somebody just slamming it. Mass migration of people into Britain, into Europe. The EU had opened it up and started slamming people in. When Britain had Brexit, suddenly they still kept letting people in. The governments. Why are the governments doing this? In Europe, the governments seem to be taking all their marching orders from the EU. Okay? But what's that got to do with the United States? Well, American government, the uniparties, the rhinos and the Democrats and all that, they all seem to be doing the same thing. Bring as many illegal immigrants, illegal aliens, so I just lost another verb, people that do not blend well into our culture, to replace us. In Britain, that's what the rioting's about. The English people finally woken up and said, I ain't put up with this bullshit anymore. Because the government's not listening, but the government seems to think they can put their foot on the people. Okay, so they're doing this to destroy the culture. They're doing it to destroy the culture of England, Wales, Cornwall, Scotland, Ireland. Irish put out an advert in like 6 or 7 different languages saying, come here, within 1 or 2 years you'll have your own turnkey to your own house and money and all the rest of the stuff. Meanwhile, their own citizens, they got citizens, pensioners that are starving to death, that can't, in England, that can't pay for their heat. It's between heat or food, which they're going to pay for, because everything's so up. But yet they're giving these people to bring in everything for free. Great replacement. It is to destroy the culture that is there. This is happening primarily in, I'm going to say, Christian countries, though the countries had, the Christianity had long since waned, like the United States. And when I say Christian, I don't mean just Catholic or Protestant, but just Christian, or even Orthodox, or just Christian period, because they want to destroy the culture of those nations. This is predominantly only happening in what were previously known as Christian countries. Europe, North America, and the people that are flooding in have no incentive to meld into the culture that's there. No, they're there to destroy the culture. Okay, well, the EU and the United States government and the Canadian government, they don't have anything, they're not connected. Yeah, they kind of are. Because there's a driving force behind them. They're all acting the same. Pretty much, the United States is out of those 3 entities, the United States is slow on the move, slower on the draw. We ain't quite caught up to, though we've got massive amounts of lunacy, we haven't quite caught up to the amount that they have in Europe and in Great Britain. And we haven't been overthrown as easily as Canada, but we're on our way. Right now, the one thing that really messed up their game plan, their schedule, that's the word, was a man named Trump. That's why they've tried to throw him in prison, bankrupt him, and even murder him. Yeah, I said the M word, because that's what they're trying to do. Trump, like Viktor Orban. The EU is suing Viktor Orban left and right, trying to find him all kinds of money, because he's not letting them overrun his country with illegals, with migrants, with people who will not adhere to the culture. Italy's starting to fight back. Poland, I understand Poland's putting up a fight now. I believe they're holding on. I may be incorrect. That's one thing about the Eastern Bloc. The Eastern Bloc said, we ain't playing this game. The Eastern Bloc being Russia, and their satellite countries that are Orthodox, you know, and it's, well, they're going over to China. They're, well, where we haven't given, we obviously haven't been friends to them, though we should have been, but that's neither here nor there. That's spilt milk now. So what's the driving force behind all this? Well, what is one thing that the powers that be in these nations can't stand or keep trying to destroy? God's Word, the Bible, Christianity, which kind of gives you a strong hint as to who's the boss behind all this is happening. Okay? Well, the WEF, the World Economic Forum, well, yeah, that's higher on the food chain of the puppets that are the puppeteers of the other puppets and the puppeteers of other puppets. Okay? And yeah, I'm going to say the enemy. I'm going to say the enemy in one of its older forms. Satan. The word Satan and the word devil means enemy. Now, demon is another word that means enemy. Translation. It's interesting in Lord of the Rings. Tolkien talks about the orcs. Orc, the origin of the word orc, it's actually a Saxon word. That means demon. Demon is an ancient word that means enemy. And that's what it all boils down to. Satan being given that 100 years to destroy the church, that was witnessed by a pope, that Our Lady of Fatima warned us against. At the tail end of him destroying, of his time period of trying to destroy the church, he's going to go all out. Well, his time is coming to a close. We don't know exactly when it started, but this is the ending of it. People say, what's Armageddon? Well, it might be Armageddon for Western culture if we don't stand up, fight back, and say, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to play this game. And if you persist and you lay hands, I will lay hands harder. Now, I'm not inciting violence. I'm inciting self-defense, to defend yourselves. If your government does not do what it is tasked to do, which is defending the people then, the government then at that point, have forfeited all their authority. Now that sounds pretty, and that is. And I hope like hell we don't have to go that route. But be prepared. Okay, no matter what country you're in, defend your country. Defend your people. Defend your women, your wives, your daughters, your sons. I mean, right now, England and Europe has rape gangs that have been. This isn't nothing new. For the past 10, 15 years, they've had a pandemic. If you'd like to use a word, there is a pandemic of grooming and rape gangs going all through Europe, Great Britain, and Ireland. Okay, we don't have it near to the extent here in the United States because we don't have such a large number of Muslim invaders, because that's what they are. We do have a lot of them. We don't have near as many as Europe, but we got a lot of folks coming from South and Central America. And with that are a lot of death cults. The Mexican drug cartels, the cartels from Central and South America. And they are demonic. They do worship a goddess of death, which is a demon. I think her name is Moita, something along those lines. But that's just the way it is. So, getting back to ignorance, the reason this is continuously going on is because we, the people of Western culture, are being kept ignorant. Not even saying it's so much being kept ignorant, a lot of us are either willed ignorant or willfully ignorant. Those of us who aren't ignorant to these facts are called conspiracy theorists, right-wing extremists, racists, just all kinds of, Islamophobe. Hillary Clinton gave us the nickname of deplorables because we're not drinking their Kool-Aid. So there it is. There is my video on ignorance. Okay, and it's up to you at this point. Now that you've been handed this, those of you who are just ignorant on the fact, which, like I said earlier, being ignorant is not a bad thing. It just means you don't know. Okay, so you need to go and find out. You've just gone from being ignorant. Now you need to determine whether you're going to learn to be knowledgeable on the subject, or you're going to be willed ignorant or willfully ignorant. It's up to you. Meanwhile, stay smoky, my friends.